Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie, this is my husband Jeremy.
Hello.
We recently spent 4 weeks in Sri Lanka, so we wanted to do a little bit of an update video and a review almost and kind of talk you through our experience in Sri Lanka. So we were there for 4 weeks and we actually spent the whole 4 weeks in one apartment in an Airbnb in Galle or Galle, Sri Lanka, which is kind of on the southwest. I have to do never eat shredded wheat. Southwest coast of Sri Lanka. We were kind of by the beach and it was a really nice experience. So I thought we would talk about things like money, the weather, things that we did, our experience, the food, any ups and downs that we had, things like that. So what was your overall view of Sri Lanka?
I enjoyed the time there. It was different than everything that we did before. If you've seen the previous recap video, we usually move around a lot. Yeah. When that was having a base and then doing small day trips around. So very different experience and feeling about it. Like we didn't see like Sri Lanka in a way, we saw a part of Sri Lanka. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was hot as hell. But apart from that, no, people were cool. Food was spicier than expected, but I enjoyed it personally. I've been literally eating like a pig for 4 weeks.
Yeah, you ate so much.
No, we had a nice time by the beach, and then it was interesting to also slow down a little bit after the three months of moving around before.
Yeah, so before that we spent a month in Vietnam, a month in Cambodia, 6 weeks in Thailand. We then went to Sydney and Melbourne in Australia, and then we did a month in Sri Lanka. So it was nice to kind of have a home base, and it was interesting how quickly we got into a routine and how quickly we kind of stopped exploring, I would say.
Yeah.
We kind of got into a routine of getting up fairly early because it was, like Jeremy said, it was hot as shit during the day. So we'd kind of get up quite early, 7 a.m, something like that most days, go out and walk around until 9 or 10, and then come back, work, and then go out again in the afternoon, evening to watch sunset, and then come back and eat dinner, whatever. So it was nice to have a routine. It was also interesting in terms of like, I feel like after a week or two we were quite settled and we kind of stopped exploring as much as maybe we would have done otherwise. Like had we done the whole, 2 days, obviously you go out and explore. Whereas because we kind of explored our surroundings, we kind of chilled out a little bit, which was nice, but we also didn't see as much as we wish we had have done with Sri Lanka. Like I definitely think we're going to go back because it's a beautiful island. There is so much to see there, and I feel like we only really scratched the surface. We did do a couple of day trips. So we went to Hikkaduwa once, and it was fine. It was a small beachy town. There, I didn't enjoy that part because there was a bit where you could feed turtles and people were stroking them and touching them and things. If you haven't seen that vlog, I literally posted a couple of days ago, so you can go and watch that.
It was pretty though. It was a beautiful beach.
Yeah.
A nice.
Good beach.
Yeah, nice beach. I would say beach town because honestly there's not much going on. But the beach by itself was really nice. Like
thousands of fish.
Massive like wild aquarium basically.
Yeah, thousands of fish.
It was impressive, yeah. We
also went to Mirissa twice. So the first time, I actually really enjoyed that vlog. You can go ahead and watch that. So we went to go and see Pirate Rock. We then went to the Turtle Bay, and there was something else we saw.
Coconut.
Oh yeah, Coconut Tree Hill, which you might have seen all over Instagram. So that was a really fun vlog as well. We actually went there twice. The first time we kind of did that whole exploring thing, saw everything. The second time we went just to swim with turtles. But we happened to go on a day where the visibility was rubbish. So we spent like an hour on the bus to get there. Maybe spent an hour in the water, and then we're like, okay, we can't see anything, let's just go home. So definitely on a good day. Mirissa is well worth going to because you can see loads of turtles in the wild. People aren't stroking them and touching them and things, which is nice. It was really cool to get really close to them.
Yeah. I would stay there for a few days and just go every morning in the water.
Yeah.
And if it's nice, just stay there for 3 hours floating.
It's interesting as well because I was expecting Mirissa to be a lot bigger. Like having stayed in Galle, which is quite a big town actually now when you look at the other towns nearby. Yeah. If you compare it to Hikkaduwa and Mirissa, Galle is actually quite a big place, but we didn't really realise. So I was expecting Mirissa to be quite a big place. It's really not. There's like one road with hotels and cafes and restaurants, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see a different part of town. Like you said, I think probably would go for a couple of days. There was a lot of surfers there as well, like quite a cool surfery, beachy town, like cool cafes and that kind of thing. And then we also went to somewhere to see masks. Do you remember the town name?
No.
So we went to a mask museum where they had, I don't know, like 100 masks or something. We also saw people making masks. We walked along the front and went to the harbour.
Ambalangoda.
Where is it?
Ambalangoda.
Ambalangoda. There we go. So we did do a couple of little day trips, but the special thing was my birthday.
Yeah.
So we went to Udawalawa National Park, and we ended up staying 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
So we arrived the first day. The next day was my birthday, so we got up at 5 a.m. to do a elephant safari, and it was incredible. We saw crocodiles, we saw monkeys, we saw lots of birds, obviously elephants, buffalo. We saw really cool, like, do you remember the painted stork? I think it was. That was a really cool bird, and like just honestly, just like
elephant. That was the main thing.
Elephants was the main thing, but all of the rest of it was also awesome. Like I just really, really enjoyed it. Also that afternoon, because they were celebrating New Year, we ended up at a family's house party that, like, a couple of houses away from where we were staying, ended up in their house playing games with them, which was so fun and such like an unusual experience. So that was really nice. The next day we went to the Elephant Transit Home, which is an orphanage for elephants. Loved that experience as well. If you watch it with the sound on, you'll hear me be like, oh my god, oh, like I just couldn't, like, I make weird noises anyway, but like in particular it was so cute, well worth going. And then the next day we came home, so that was also like a really cool experience in Sri Lanka. But I think having been there, there's definitely way more we want to go back and see.
Yeah, it's a big island actually. I think it's like UK, right? Yeah.
It's way big. I thought you'd be able to drive from top to the bottom in like 2 or 3 hours. Actually, no, it's huge.
Big, and it's very diverse. You have some mountains and kind of rainforest, I think, like in the middle. All around the coast, obviously, the coast with plenty of like nice beach and surf spots. It's also quite cultural or historical. Like in Galle, there is the town, and then there is a little stuff like sticking out of the map, and it's a fort, like an old fort that was from the Dutch or Portuguese at some point. I don't remember the dates now, but it's got like a very different vibe than the normal town, and it's quite pretty as well to look at with the big, fort, like with the walls, and you can actually go down and swim around, and
the lighthouse and things.
It's quite
like
cool.
That.
Yeah, it's. I didn't expect to see anything like that, to be honest.
Because I knew nothing about Sri Lanka before we went. Yeah. And it was kind of like colonised, by the Portuguese, the Dutch and the English. There's kind of lots of different things there. And there's also kind of Buddhist temples, there's also mosques, so it's kind of like a real blended atmosphere of different like architecture, different religions, different people. Talking of the people, it was interesting because I felt like when we got there, I felt quite overwhelmed and a little bit scared, I'll be honest, because I feel like that everywhere I go. And whenever I go somewhere, everyone's like, okay, chill out, Rosie, like, they're not that bad. Just whenever I go somewhere new, I always feel really overwhelmed for like a day or two. And I remember especially the men would stare, like the women a lot of time would avoid eye contact with both of us. Didn't really make eye contact with any of the women on like a regular basis particularly. But I found the men would stare. What was interesting is they kind of stare like this, but then if you crack a smile like, hi, and then they like instantly smile back at you, and they're instantly really friendly. So it's so interesting how like they look really stern and really serious, but then actually if you smile at them, they'll smile back and they're happy to talk to you. So I found that really interesting. The food,
a lot of people spoke English.
Yeah, really good English. Yeah.
Not everyone, but a lot of people.
I think especially coming from Vietnam, Cambodia and Thailand, where people struggled a lot of the time, to then go somewhere where most people spoke English was refreshing. The food. So we arrived the first night and we were just kind of like, do you know what, let's go to the shop, get some pasta and some pasta sauce, that'll do us. Ended up, the pasta sauce was spicier than any curry I've ever had in my entire life. Blew my face off, so couldn't eat anything really. And then we ended up actually, pretty soon, what was really good, when we got there, we went for a walk and we found, I think on like the first or second day, this place called Mirissa. And we basically went there every 2 days and got enough food for the next 2 days because it was affordable, it was delicious, and they had lots of different choices, and it was kind of homemade as well. So it was really, really good there. We also had a lot of rotis. There's vegetable rotis that are triangular. They were really delicious. There was also egg ones and vegetable ones, and we tried lots of different things. I also had sausage rolls at one point, and
you got like some hot dogs,
desserts and things. I was trying lots of different things. So we really enjoyed the rotis. We did also start eating them though with yogurt because we're not used to spice. So we'd buy a big tub of yogurt and then have like
dip it.
Yeah, like have like 1 or 2 rotis each with like a kottu, or what was the other things we had?
Noodles or rice.
Noodles and rice. Kottu was the main like Sri Lankan dish we had. And we'd have like yogurt on the rotis to be able to eat them.
We had the same food basically over and over again, honestly.
Yeah.
We had like rotis and then either kottu, rice or noodles.
Yeah.
And then repeat every 3 days.
But
so not a diverse diet.
No, but the good thing, so to sort of talk to you from like our point of view, because we've been traveling for 3 months, like on the go, it was nice to settle down. It was nice to kind of find a local place.
Yeah.
The Airbnb we found was super cheap. I think it was like €400 for a month. The food was super cheap. I think we spent like €100 in a month on food, which is insane. Like we didn't even spend that in a week in Miami. It was like a couple of days or something. So for us, it was really nice to have like good food that we enjoy that is cheap, and it was a really good month to kind of save money, not spend all this money going out and exploring. We're going to do a whole video talking about.
It was nice to eat at home also a bit. Like it's nice to try new food and eat out and stuff like that, but sometimes you also just want to eat on a couch watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And that was nice to be able to do that because we had a full kitchen.
Yeah.
Not that we cooked, ultimately we just warmed up stuff.
Yeah.
But having like a fridge with fruit and vegetables, like you're doing salads every day. That was nice also just to have a little bit of like, I don't need to go out to eat.
Yeah.
If I can't be out going out tonight, I can just buy food for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is what we did, and at least we know we don't have to go out tomorrow at midday when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Yeah.
That was quite nice also, I think.
Like you said about getting salads, so I would say the mangoes were not very good. We tried quite a few.
Yeah.
They all had like a weird taste, especially coming from Thailand where they were insane.
Since Thailand, we've been looking for the right mango.
They were insane, and then you go to Sri Lanka, it's just like, oh, it's just not quite doing it. So the mangoes were not great. The papaya was good. The passion fruit were really good. We also had watermelon that was good. I watched a couple of people talking about biohacking, and I learned that if you eat salad first before your meal, it's good for digestion and your health and everything else. So I started buying like cucumbers and tomatoes and red peppers if I could find them, and I would chop them up and eat them for a starter and then have the kottu, and I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed having a fridge because a lot of the time we're staying in hotels, we don't have fridges, so therefore we could buy juice, like a bottle of juice, and keep it for 3 days, or a bottle of like lemonade, or could buy fruit and veg. Eggs as well we had. We actually found it quite hard to find eggs. There was one shop that had them that was called...
It was Kel, like K-E-L-L.
Keels or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in the description box.
But you had to go before midday, otherwise it was out of stock.
Yeah, because there was like a whole row of like a couple of shelves for eggs, but there was actually only ever maybe like 10 packets.
And you could only get like 1 or 2 packs per person. No?
Yeah, I think it was 2 packs per person per purchase, like per day or something. So we obviously only went every couple of days and got 1 pack between us, but that was really good as well, having eggs in the mornings. While we're talking about food, we did also get food poisoning.
Oh yeah.
That happened. So
The first day was good though.
So we went with the Airbnb owner to get some fish. We went to the fish market, got some tuna from some guy that this guy trusted that he goes to all the time.
And got some prawns as well.
Got some prawns as well, yeah.
That was good.
So the Airbnb host, his wife cooked us the prawns, and they brought it back to us, and we had that for dinner or something.
It was delicious.
Delicious. But we also brought some tuna, and we bought quite a lot of it. So the first day we had it, it was delicious. It was fine. The next day we had it, we both got food poisoning. You can go and watch the vlog if you want the juicy details, but basically I shat my knickers, I was sick. Jeremy had to make himself sick. He had a big rash on his shoulders. It was like a whole thing. We were not okay. Would not recommend doing that. But also the thing about Sri Lanka, so we got histamine fish poisoning, which basically means that the fish had been out of the fridge. Now obviously the guy selling the fish had it out of the fridge. But also when we were in Sri Lanka, you might have heard about everything that's been going on economically in Sri Lanka. We had a lot of power cuts. So I don't know if we had a power cut overnight and therefore it was kind of warming up all night or... Anyway, so we did have power cuts, which was frustrating sometimes if like the AC would go off, the internet would go off, and we're just like burning
it wasn't too long,
like...
It's never been long. We went to the turtle hatchery stuff. That was
cute. Yeah, that was really good. Again, there's a vlog talking about that as well. That was
Released some baby turtles.
Yeah.
Saw plenty of injured turtles, which it's not cool, but these are rescued and looked after, and eventually gonna get released for some of them. But that was cool. We spent like a good couple of hours then taking pictures and stuff like that, just enjoying the company.
Yeah, they had some injured turtles. So one of them like had an arm missing, or had infections on their tummy, or one had an eye missing. And yeah, they had some turtles that had been hatched the night before, and then he said I could release 3 of them. So I was like walking along, like, and released them into the water, which was like a dream come true. So
that's cute.
it was really, really cool. I think a lot of people that go to Sri Lanka kind of go for maybe a week or like probably 2 weeks and kind of dot around a little bit, which is sort of what I wish we'd done. But also I think we enjoy just hanging out for a month and relaxing a little bit. That's what we needed
at the time.
Yeah. Most people do the Ella to Kandy train, which is meant to be one of the most beautiful train rides in the world. I believe it, I'm sure it probably is, but also when you get the train from, for example, Galle to Mirissa, there's also fantastic views. You're obviously not in the mountains, but you kind of go past like the beach and the palm trees and things like that. So the train rides were really good. They were super cheap. I think like an hour train was like 30p or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So what we would typically do on day trips is to get a train, because the trains have like specific times, like 8:20 there's a train to this place. We'd get the train to somewhere, and we're often in 3rd class just because it was cheapest and it was fine to stand for 20 minutes or an hour or something.
As hot as 2nd class or stuff like that. So
yeah. So we'd get the train there, and then on the way back we'd get a bus, just because you can just stand on the road and wait for the bus to come and get on. So why is that funny?
Well, the bus is an experience.
Oh, the bus is an experience. There was one day when, I can't remember where we were coming back from, Mirissa probably.
Hikkaduwa, I think.
Oh, Hikkaduwa, yeah. And it was as if he was with a race with himself, and he was just zipping around all the corners, overtaking people, not stopping when people were stopped on the side. I'm sure it was like the express service, but I would rather not get the express service.
Mad.
So yeah, that was kind of our experience with Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it was our experience with Galle, I would say.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we didn't see Sri Lanka. We stayed in one place and we visited the city and what's around. But no, it was cool. We had a good routine, like getting up in the morning, going for a swim, getting work done, and then going back for sunset. It was nice and chill. This place we went to for food, like every day, invited us for a big dinner at the end before we left, and served us a ridiculous amount of food. We could have fed 6 people and a whole curry and stuff. It was so good. It was so nice.
So like I said, I think we spent 100...
And if you're watching this video, hi, because I know you're commenting.
Yeah, he watches my videos now. I told him I'm a YouTuber. But I think we spent like €100, like I said, in a month at that one place. Yeah. Which for a month worth of food for 2 people is nothing, but for them it was like, oh my god, we're so grateful that you're coming all the time, we want to prepare this meal for you. So we went thinking we were going to have a meal with them and like sit down with the owners, but then no, they just brought, like, they treated us like royalty, like brought us drinks and like food, and it was just incredible, like the hospitality, and they were so nice to us. And he was actually really nice, because we'd sit and talk to him, like while they're preparing our food, he'd tell us about the history of Sri Lanka, or about Galle, or about things to go and see and do, so he was really cool. Yeah.
No, and even the Airbnb, actually, I would highly recommend it, to be honest. It was a really nice one. The owner was really nice, really helpful. Like, we were complaining about internet because we use it a lot, and he brought us like a new router and always fixing stuff if we needed to, or like cleaning every week. Yeah. So we didn't have anything to do. It was really cool. Yeah.
I think it was good as well, because like Jeremy said earlier, with Galle, there's like the town where all the locals live, where there's like the small markets, there's the shops and restaurants for local people, you know, that's kind of where the locals live, and then there's like the touristy area, which was the fort. And the difference there was so interesting. Like in the part where we were staying, we would maybe see 1 or 2 white people a day, like white tourists.
We were getting ice cream for 60 cents.
Yeah, ice cream was good.
Went on the...
Oh yeah. So then, but then we'd go to the fort. We'd like, that's where everyone stays. Obviously, it's a bit like if you go into Paris, you want to stay by the Eiffel Tower. I get it. You want to stay where the action is. But it was so interesting, the difference, in price, because I think it was like 10 times as expensive.
Yeah, it was 60 local and 600.
Yeah, so everything was like 10 times more expensive, but it was really beautiful, like architecture and like European style in terms of the architecture and things. So it was really interesting, but I think it was nice to be able to stay where we stayed, to kind of see the real and authentic side of it, and then kind of go into the tourist area rather than the other way around. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Also, if you go there, buy clothes. We thought Thailand was cheap.
Yeah.
That was cheaper. I bought like linen shirts like that. I got 4 of them like that for €15. Yeah. So like 4 each. That's from Sri Lanka, so I think.
Yeah, this was like €1 or €2.
Yeah, like so cheap, mental.
Yeah.
Like even
lot of
cheaper than
shopping.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was crazy. Like I went into this massive shopping center where it was just madness with clothes everywhere and people just like taking things everywhere. But so worth it.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Yeah, we were there at a funny time as well because we were there for their New Year, which was my birthday weekend. When we were away, it was that weekend that it was the kind of the celebration. So they had lots of like certain cakes that they have at that time of year, which was really nice to try. They also had a lot of like, we were out in Udawalawa, which is like the safari area, and there was loads of like banging and popping. Do you remember? I was like shitting myself.
Yeah, like
I think it was like fireworks or like firecracker things, but it was interesting to see. And also like, so when we left was that day and the roads were empty, there was no one on the streets. And then as we started to get closer and closer, we would see people all wearing white at the temples,
playing cricket on the street.
Yeah, playing cricket on the
like
street
that.
because there was just no one in the streets otherwise. So
Yeah.
it was interesting to see that. Like then, I would definitely recommend going, not when we went. I don't know if Sri Lanka gets cold, but go in their cold months because I was so hot
we were
all
at
the
the worst
time. Yeah.
We had to buy umbrella to protect from the sun. Like the sun was burning.
Yeah.
I've not felt this sensation often. Like we burned the first time when we went to see the turtle in Mirissa.
Yeah.
Just floating on the top like that with your back exposed. Like we literally burned.
Yeah, burnt to a crisp.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
So we got sun cream and umbrella to walk in the street and shit.
Yeah, so I would plan Sri Lanka when it's colder.
Yeah, don't go in April.
Yeah.
April and May, like before the rain season, it's just so hot.
So that's it from us, I think. We did enjoy Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
I would say it was different to the other Asian countries in terms of like the food, the culture, the people, the way they dress, the religions,
culture,
kind of all of it was very different. But actually it felt kind of scary when we first arrived, but actually people are friendly, people just want to talk to you and know where you're from, and like people do smile back if you smile at them, even if they stare at you looking scary, you can smile at them, they'll smile back. Like everyone was super nice. Nothing weird happened, nothing bad happened, so really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
would highly recommend, and I think we definitely want to go back probably for like a month and actually kind of travel around and see more, and maybe do that train ride, maybe go up into the mountains, maybe kind of see different places, because it was nice to get to know where we were, but I also feel like we missed out maybe on seeing other places. So who knows, maybe we'll go back one day. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe for more videos. Like I said, you can go ahead and watch all of the vlogs from Sri Lanka as well. We then spent 6 weeks in India. We're now finishing up our India trip now. So the next vlogs coming will be all about India, so you can watch those if you're interested as well. And the very next video is going to be our Sri Lanka finances video, where we're going to be talking about how much we spent on accommodation, food, activities, day trips, this, that, the other. Everything's going to be broken down so you can see how much we spent in 1 month in Sri Lanka. That's everything, I think. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.